Welcome to Animates, a retro anime review comedy podcast. These episodes contain spoilers and adult language, so stick around if you're cool like that. Hello and welcome to Animates, your source for all things retro anime. My name is Mackenzie, joined by my lovely co-host Lindsay.
Hello, Mackenzie, and hello, our audience.
A lot of you lovely people listening have followed us for officially a year.
Congratulations, it's our 1 year anniversary.
It is. As of the release of this episode, which will be our 52nd episode, we have been a podcast for 1 year.
That's insane.
We have watched 51 anime from the 70s, 80s, and 90s.
And 2001.
And one from 2001. Yep. And we made it all the way to our 1 year.
Man, who would have thought we'd last this long?
It lasted longer than when we dated.
Yeah, it did.
Cleared that shit by a whole 8 months.
Hell yeah. Go us.
But
so when you're like paper or something, I don't know.
Couldn't tell you. But this podcast has been a labor of love that about a year and 2 months ago, I had watched Urusei Yatsura and I was like, I want to talk about this because I don't get a lot of stuff where people talk about retro anime. And I just happened to bring it up to you just in conversation. And you're like, I'll do it.
Yeah, it was like on Snap as I was preparing to fly to Hamilton to go film
a TV show. Yeah. And I was like, wait, what? Because the last thing I would have ever expected you to agree to was to be on a retro anime podcast with me.
I know. I think it's because I just thought it was funny because I don't watch anime. And I was like, I don't know, it might be interesting just to have someone who is not in this community and rarely watch this type of content growing up and in their adult life. So it might be funny just to see some weird things. And I definitely did see some weird things this year.
You have seen some weird things. We can't call you a noob anymore, per se.
I feel like you still could. I feel like watching 3 or 4 episodes of series.
But that's 51 series. That's a lot of series, Lindsay.
Let's just say I feel more confident walking around a con now. I actually understand things.
This is one of our 2 episodes for our 1 year.
Yeah, we're treating you all. We're celebrating big.
This episode is going to be our usual kind of dive into some retro anime, but a second episode is also being released on the exact same day as this one, right after it. That is a culmination of the year, our best and worsts across multiple categories of the podcast. But if that's not your thing, it is going to start with some really cool and exciting news about what we're doing with the podcast this year. We've got some changes. We've got some new stuff in the works that you'll get to learn about that's happening pretty quick here. So make sure at least to listen to the first 5 minutes of that episode.
Then listen to the rest of it, because we're funny.
Yeah, preferably. I'd hope so. But if we're not to you and you don't give a shit about that, listen to the first 5, hear about all the cool news about stuff going on, and then join us for the next year of excitement and fun shenanigans.
Woo! We're gonna shenan and then we're gonna shenan again.
And then we'll shenanigan again.
I almost did the deer, but I don't remember how it goes. The deer theme song?
Shika Noko Noko?
Yeah. Remember, guys, I host an anime podcast.
Silly deer show. Anyways, for the 1 year, we decided to kick it back to
nobody's getting surprised in this episode.
No, this is pre-talked about because I had mentioned Urusei Yatsura being the thing that we had done. And we've mentioned this before. We did record an Urusei Yatsura episode for our first episode.
Yeah.
It was not good.
No.
It was real bad.
Oh man, it was rough.
So Ranma ended up being our first episode instead of our second. And that Urusei Yatsura episode got put on the shelves. And then eventually I lost bits and pieces of it through accidental deleting of stuff. Ooh. Now, I have found most of it. And maybe one day I'll find the rest and it'll go out there. But until then, this week, we're doing something we haven't done for a while, which is a showdown.
Ooh, old versus new.
Sorry, you got that fucking stuck in my head now.
Yeah, you're welcome.
So this will be technically your first time seeing the new version. So there's a little bit of new for you there, but we're going to be talking about comparing the original Urusei Yatsura from 1981 to the new version that came out in 2022.
It's like almost 40. That is 40 years.
No, it came out on October 14th, 1981, and the new one was October 14th, 2022. Same launch day.
41 years later.
That's crazy.
Holy moly. All right, well, let's go see what 41 years of technological advance.
I was going to say there's not a lot else to talk about because we already know no secret, fun, punny intros. We're just going to go watch some Urusei Yatsura and be back in like 5 seconds.
Stay tuned.
Wait, that's the ending song. And we are back from watching Urusei Yatsura 1981 and Urusei Yatsura 2022, 3 episodes of each. And I gotta say, as far as remakes go, it's pretty good.
Yeah. I mean, holy shit, it's an assault on your senses. It's so cutesy and colorful.
A lot.
Trying to watch it also in sub, I was like, I don't know where to look. There's so much going on. And like, and there's so much color everywhere.
So bright.
Oh my gosh.
I really do like the visuals in this one.
Oh yeah, they're beautiful. It's funny because I literally was like, I have ADHD. This is too much, but also I love it.
I think the best place to start with the assault on the senses is the intro, because the original is a damn classic.
Oh my gosh, I love the original.
It's
cute.
It's freaking adorable.
Oh my gosh.
Giggling in the background.
Yep, I love it. I love it so much.
It is a true classic anime opening, and it's hard to beat.
It truly is.
Now, the new intro song is a good song.
It absolutely is a good song.
I like the song, but it cannot hold a candle to the original.
Well, and the thing with the new song is it does feel, I mean, it probably wasn't, but it does feel like a song that you could just have come up on your Spotify.
Yes, it's very modern JK pop, like just like...
Yeah, it doesn't feel as curated specifically to the show, I guess.
The modern vibe of the song does work with the modern vibe of the show, with like the modern issue, but the original cannot be beat.
It's just adorable.
However,
the
visuals in this intro on the new version
so good,
are incredible.
Holy moly.
Crazy cool synthwave visuals aside, there's animated manga clips happening in the background. There's pieces of art from video games and other places in the history of Urusei Yatsura, and it really makes it a visual treat. Plus, the modern design just does look good.
Oh, it looks incredible.
It's crisp, it's clean, she still feels like Lum.
It's just heightened.
Exactly.
And it's brought to the next level.
Yeah, because people were worried that like, oh, it's not going to feel like Lum or Urusei Yatsura anymore. And no, I don't think that's the case at all.
No, I agree. It just feels like Urusei Yatsura in this millennium.
And I think that's what people are saying about Ranma too. Like, oh, it doesn't feel quite like the old one. No, it feels like modernized Ranma. And that's just how it's going to be. Like, there's smartphones in this one. Like, that's just how it is.
Because that's what happens.
With the outros, I don't really pay attention to either of them.
No, me neither.
The new one I like more than the old because it's like funky synthwave with cute vocals. And the old one's just kind of whatever. People might hate me for that opinion, but but yeah, no, the visuals in the new one are, and that's obviously part of it being modern, is because you have more access to like crisp, colorful lines, and
there's no real limitations as there was with hand-drawn animation.
Exactly. And even like Lum's design, like I said, she still feels like Lum, but Lum's original design will always have a place in my heart.
Oh, absolutely. It's classic.
I remember being a kid just like Googling this and being like, I think I was probably more like Netscaping it or whatever, but just being like, oh my God, she's so dang cute. Ooh, don't let my dad see this picture I downloaded of this anime girl in a leopard bikini.
I love it. The design of it is so fun. And like, we've talked about this a lot off the podcast, but just how they were able to do her hair in the modern one and finally do it right so that they can have that weird, like, iridescent. Yeah.
Yeah, because that was what Rumiko Takahashi always wanted. But you can't do that in black and white. And back in the day in animation, it wasn't easy to like do that sort of like change. But the modern version, oh, the hair is incredible.
Oh my gosh, it's so cool. Because even like I watched episode 9 because I wanted to see how they did Ray. Even his hair is like just having the like solid color and then the outline in another very bright color is so good.
The whole show in the modern looks fantastic. And when she shocks people, in the modern one, and her hair does all the different color changes.
Mhm. It just goes
Oh.
Rainbow Road.
I love that so much. Nothing is better than that.
Nope.
Although, again with love, because that's kind of the main part of all of this.
Yeah, she's kind of like the main character.
I prefer the OG voice.
Yeah, I would agree with you.
It's just Fumi Hirano kills it with the cuteness.
Mm-hmm.
Like the modern darling is good, but just the older one, I prefer it so much more. Not that the new voice actress is bad by any means.
No.
It just doesn't have that like innocence and cuteness to it at the same level.
Mm-hmm.
So
it's funny because so when we first did this, I watched the first episode in the terrible British dub.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah. And you were like, why are we watching this?
I was like, this is awful. And then I also watched episode 9 from the new one in the English dub because I was just like, I couldn't read and watch that show at the same time anymore. And yeah, I was like, still in both of them. Normally I prefer an English dub, but both of them just don't compare to the original Japanese. It's just so much better.
No, it's so much better. The designs of all the characters, you still can tell who they are.
They're they still stay within the original character design, but they have added just little things to bring it again into this millennium.
Mr. Invader, I do prefer his modern look.
I would agree. I would agree with you there. Especially his intro.
Yeah. Oh my God. We're gonna get to that.
Yeah, we'll get to that, but
because that's one of the biggest, best changes about the first episode and the introduction of this whole series. But the one I'm most happy about the changes on in the modern is Shinobu.
Oh. Just that she has like a little bit more trust in Ataru when it comes to him trying to be like, no, I love you. And, we see that in the first episode that she's like, I'm going to believe you. And then, the first episode happens.
A bit of the trust, but it's mostly because she's not just a whiny little turd.
Yeah.
In this one, like she actually can handle herself.
They gave her more almost like autonomy or more depth.
Like she flirts with other people. She can beat the crap out of him way more effectively when he's being an absolute...
She can throw a fucking desk out the window.
Exactly. And hit that stupid skydiving exchange student.
That rich kid.
So, yeah, the characters look great. Although Ataru feels a little less lecherous, and I think that's more so due to the fact that the original had him be way more like mouth open drooly.
He drove me nuts.
You, of course, saw Ray because I got that Snapchat from you being like, am I like Ataru's mom thinking he's just the handsomest guy?
Is he? Do I find him attractive? What's going on?
Much so that you jumped ahead 6 episodes to go make sure you could watch him in the modern version.
100%. I was like, I want to see how he looks in the modern one. And he looks wonderful.
Yeah. No, he's, minus his certain abilities.
Moo.
Moo. The biggest changes are to the story, not because the story is different, is more condensed.
Yeah, they don't have as much room to breathe with. There's like 195 episodes in the first series and like 4 movies.
Yeah, and then the new one was like 40 across 2 seasons. Not to say that the filler in the original is bad. There's a lot of funny moments, but it just feels easier to watch the modern one story-wise because they flow the 2 separate half episodes together a lot better.
Yeah, it is weaved a lot better.
But you mentioned the intro of the dad.
I love it. Just how in the original, it's just kind of like, who is this big guy sitting in my parents' dining room? But in the new one, they play with light and his eyes and things like that. And they really add those kind of horror type elements.
Yeah, to make him seem like an Oni.
Because he's an invading alien species who wants to take over the world. That's terrifying.
Yeah. And speaking of invading, we actually see the invasion in the modern version.
Yeah, those spaceships are so cool.
They looks incredible. Like when you open that up after watching the first episode of the original, because the original is just like, oh, there's an alien here.
Well, yeah, and it's just like, there's one ship.
Yeah, and this one's like, hi, we're an entire armada, an entire alien fleet here to just like absolutely destroy you.
This planet's ours now.
Yeah, and of course, much like with the OG, the first half is pretty much identical minus showing like the introduction. It's basically, hi, you have to play tag with my daughter and grab her Oni horns, and then you will save the planet.
We've randomly selected one human.
And it just happens to be the man who's known for having the most unluckiest face in the world.
Doom.
Doom, da doom, doom, doom. Literally, is the fucking Cherry's like,
Making
you
stew.
are the most wretched looking man. And I don't mean that looks wise. Your face just screams terrible. Bad things are coming for you.
Which, like, that's a great thing to say to a teenage boy.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. The first episode, yeah, it's the starting part. It's the usual, like, gotta catch the Oni and, eventually catches her by ripping off her top so that she can get distracted.
Yeah.
At least in this one, they didn't show the nipples.
Yeah, I did appreciate that.
And it was like a gun that he was using, or the original, he used a gun to like pull it off, like a grabby gun. This time it was like an accident, so he wasn't trying to be a pervert in this moment.
Yeah, true. I don't know. My thing was like, at least in the original, like they show him using different methods to try and win.
Yeah.
Whereas in the new one, they just like, it's just him continuing to run after her for the 10 days. And I'm like, if it's not working on the first day, switch it up.
Literally, my next note was I miss all the scenes of him dying on a stretcher.
Yeah.
At the end of each day.
Like a jetpack and
yeah, like so much
all those
stuff.
ridiculous things. Yeah.
But yeah, pull off the shirt, she gets distracted, grab the horns, good to go. That's the same across both. What I'm really glad for in the first episode is that they dropped the whole galactic taxi company stealing all of the oil on Earth to pay for his 2-minute taxi ride through subspace.
Yeah, I did not, it felt so like unnecessary, or just like, it had no relevance.
No, it had absolutely zero relevance.
Yeah, whereas in the new one, it's him and Shinobu trying to like reconnect and
secretly.
Yeah, trying to like be like, no, this is all an accident. I love you. You're the one for me. Like, let's make this work no matter what. And then Lum trying to like make that impossible.
She literally goes batshit crazy and drives a spaceship into the Earth. And yeah, creates a black hole because she keeps like diving in on their phone calls.
Oh my gosh, I loved it so much.
And like, speaking of condensing things, the black hole creating episode was part 1 of episode 6 in the original. So we're already 6 episodes later with what's happening, and it makes more sense because she's on the planet. I don't need some oil story. I want her,
because it never comes back.
Travel. No.
Or at least I don't think it did. I don't know. We only watched 10 episodes.
Yeah, I don't remember if we ever see that guy again.
Oh, here's about seeing. Is there that? Because there's that weird like crustacean alien in the original, the like little red one who.
And he lives in like the house for some reason.
Yeah, is he in the new one? I didn't clock him.
Didn't clock him, but it's a weird thing because he's just already been on Earth.
I know,
and no one thinks anything weird of him.
I just loved it. I thought it was a fun little bit.
It is. That's really true. I didn't notice that in the new one. I made a note somewhere in my notes that was like, silly little guy. But I don't think I ever saw it on the new. Yeah, you're right.
Boo.
Huh.
That's a strike against the new one.
How dare they? And then, yeah, episode 2 is also very different because episode 2 in the original, we are introduced instantly to another character.
Yeah, we meet 10 as he flies in on his little radish or whatever.
I think it's a peach.
I think they say it's a peach, but it looks like a radish.
I love 10. 10's adorable.
Oh my gosh. He's just such a little, oh yeah, and like such a little shit disturber.
He's so evil towards Ataru. Cute, and he breathes fire, but he's evil as all hell.
Oh yeah.
Ataru's mom instantly loves 10 more than she loves Ataru.
Mm-hmm.
And even like Shinobu and everybody is like, oh, sweet baby. You're like, no.
I would like to see the child.
Exactly. We don't get that in the episode 2 for the new one.
No. We go straight to an exorcism.
Yeah, instead we get to meet Sakura, who we don't normally see in the other one until episodes later. Because in episode 2, part 1 is episode 5, and then part 2 is part 1 of episode 7 from the OG.
Man.
So it's like cutting out all the fat and introducing
they super
people
sliced and diced
as they needed it. And it flows way better.
Yeah, I agree.
Because we need to get more of them before we get another fresh new character introduced.
Mm-hmm.
Which I say, except we technically do get the character introduced because in the second episode
the second part. Yeah.
We get one of my loves, Sakura.
You're like, I love her. She can stay.
Because like in the original, the whole point of the episode in the original one is 10 arrives, 10 blows up the house. And there is an ongoing joke across both of these, which is the mortgage and how the dad still has to pay it every time the house gets destroyed and rebuilt.
As a person with a mortgage, I'm like, oh, I feel him.
And I love that little thing, but like 10 blows up the house trying to like get after Ataru. And then they give candy to a swallow.
Yeah. Oh yeah, swallow. Yeah.
And then they turn into giant penguins.
Which I was like, this doesn't seem like a problem.
And it's like Godzilla sized, and Ten's idea of a good time is to fix it by changing the ecosystem by making a bunch of flies larger so the penguins can eat.
I know. I laughed so hard. I was like, it's so cute because it is such a like child's way of solving a problem.
Mm-hmm.
Is just making other things bigger. Like I thought it was so cute and so funny.
So adorable. He fucked up big time, but it was still adorable. Mm-hmm. But the episode just ends with the penguin living large in the city.
Having his nest in the Tokyo Tower and
yeah. So we got exploding house and, giant penguin. Funny episode. But Absolutely. 2 brings us straight into Sakura, who's like a 30-year-old shrine maiden.
Having a heart attack or something.
Well, runs into him because because Ataru's like literally on the run from home. He ran away. He's been hiding. And there's like people in the news being like, come back to us, son.
Oh, man. He's in his terrible disguise. And then they show the exact same disguise on the TV.
He looks like this. Cover. And like,
I do love that bit.
Oh, it's so good. And when he like runs into her, she's like almost passing out or whatever. And he's like, here, let me take off your bra to help you breathe.
Ugh.
She's like, get fucked.
I know, which I was like, yes, that would help, but also fuck off.
But then he gets captured by her and her mother, who also looks like Cherry.
Mm-hmm.
And
it's just Cherry in drag.
And they're like, we're going to exercise you because you've got some shit following you.
Uh-huh.
And this part's really funny because she ends up just like releasing her own demons.
Yeah. And it's funny because she's doing it by just like saying like her shopping list.
Literally, like the subtitle, I was like, wait, is this wrong? And I went and I was like,
know,
no,
right? That's exactly what she's saying.
Ramen, onions, tomato, carrots. And I'm like, all right, if that works, it works.
Yeah.
But like all these demons fly out of her, which like removes her toothache and her heart problems. And then they're all on him and she goes to exorcise them from him. And then the Grim Reaper shows up.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what the shit is the Grim Reaper doing in this?
Well, and also because all these demons were so like cutesy. I was like, these aren't terrifying demons at all.
No. And now he literally has the demon following him as part of his aura now. like the Grim Reaper.
This poor kid. Yeah, he's like laying in bed and there's just like the Reaper really close to him.
And of course, because he's a lecherous little bastard, he flirts with Sakura in front of Lum.
Yep.
And here's the thing. Anyone who thinks Ataru is a good guy is an idiot.
Yeah. Guys, he's not
He's a piece of shit.
He's a don't be like him.
No, he's the most confusing asshole. Because he's like, Shinobu, I love you so much. I don't want the cute girl Lum. I want you. But every time I'm near you, I'm going to flirt with every other girl around me and make you feel like shit.
Heck them all out.
And I'm like, bro, just go with the alien then, if that's how you're going to be.
100%. Like, if you're thinking to yourself, what would Ataru do? Like, reevaluate your moral compass, maybe.
Yeah. And also, if leaving Lum is going to cause the end of the world, then just stay with her. Sometimes you just got to I wouldn't say take an L because Lum's great.
Yep.
Insane and will shock you to all hell, but great.
Yep.
A little clingy. Stage
She's
5 clinger.
A little abusive.
Yeah, that's true. I'd say out of love, but that's not an excuse.
No. Nope. Not an
not
excuse.
at all.
Because I mean, like, that was even the problem I had when we first reviewed this. It was, I was like, I just didn't like, that there is so much abuse from literally everyone that this poor child is enduring for something that's not his fault. I don't know. That was just my thing.
Parents are the worst too.
They're so terrible.
Because nothing's his problem that's happening at all. But they just keep being like, my son is a worthless piece of trash and garbage.
I wish I had an abortion. Like,
yeah, like literally almost that exact line.
They're so like this poor child. Like, I'm like, maybe he's just a shithead because everyone is so terrible to him. And then I think of Shinobu, and then I'm like,
Yeah, because she's really nice to him.
She loves him.
Speaking of him being an asshole, the second half of the second episode, Cherry's like, hey, here's this ribbon. If you put it on her horns, she'll lose all of her powers.
Mm-hmm.
What a dick fucking move.
I mean, but also I get it. Like, if you're getting shocked constantly, like, and she's not going to stop, I get it. I totally understand his motivations for...
I agree. I get it. But also, dick move.
Yeah. There's so much...
Because...
nobody is good in this.
No, he literally convinces her. Like, he keeps saying, I don't want to be your husband, I want to be your husband. And then this episode, he's like, I want you to wear this because I'm as your husband, I like to see you dressed up in cute stuff. And I'm like, bitch, stop playing with our emotions.
I'm like, wow, everyone is terrible.
But she's so happy because she looks so cute that she jumps out the fucking window.
Well, and the thing is, like, from her point of view, she's like, oh, he's finally returning my affections. He got me a gift.
And then jumps 2 stories to her ass.
I'm like, oh no.
I know he has his reasons, but that shit makes me so mad because she's crazy, but she's lovable. Technically, in folklore, grabbing an Oni's horns allows you to like get a wish granted.
Oh.
And when he grabbed her horns, he did say we're going to get married. So technically, he did secure his fate by not knowing his folklore.
Oh no. This is why you need to know your folklore.
Your folklore. This is a silver fork and this is a copper fork. The whole episode is basically she cannot get her powers to work, and she keeps like trying to shock a bunch of boys, but every time she touches them, they like instantly fall in love with her because
she's
her
a babe.
cuteness powers. Yeah, her cuteness powers aren't affected.
Yeah,
like if I was a teenage boy and that girl was in my class, I would also be just as
100%.
Yeah, just the heart.
Awooga.
But like the reason it pisses me off, aside from like taking away her autonomy, is the fact that she thinks that she's getting sick and she's super upset by this. The only reason that things get fixed is because she's like, well, I guess if I can't have my powers, I'll have to stay with you at all times, no matter what. I can never go back to my spaceship. And now he's like, oh shit, I guess being shocked's better than spending time with you.
So shitty.
So he like lunges at her to try and get this ribbon off her. And his buddies are like, he's attacking her, and like burst in. And then she attacks the buddies, which causes her to find the note from Cherry. And she's so fucking sad about this.
Which is absolutely fair.
Yeah. But she loses her shit when she takes that damn ribbon off and full on Pikachu's his ass at full power.
Oh, man. Just the whole house.
Yeah.
Ugh. Maybe people who are 14 shouldn't get married. I don't know. Maybe it's just me.
Speaking of shocking, the sound effects in this, I prefer her flying sound from the original.
Okay.
It sounds more whimsical. In fact, I like it so much it's in our intro song.
I was saying, yeah, I was like, isn't it our intro?
It is. But the shock sounds I prefer in the new one because they sound more static and shocky.
Yeah.
The other one, they just kind of sounded.
Because don't they have the buzz, buzz, and is it like the sound as well?
Yeah, exactly. Episode 3 of this show starts off wild on the
OG. Oh man, I do love this episode.
Because Lum is like, just takes her bra off. And she's like, you ready?
Darling.
And surprisingly, Mr. Fuckboy says no.
I know.
10, the child, is like, don't worry about me. I'll just close my eyes. And then he looks at the teenager and goes, what, you don't know how to do it? And I'm like, bruh.
I'm like, how do you even know what that is?
Bruh. No. But then she just stares at him and goes, I know that look on your face. That's the look when Shinobu is coming over. She does, but she arrives on the back of a new character.
Yeah, this reveal was so funny. Just like, why are you coming through the window? Well, because this guy was here. And then she just like lifts up.
He's just on her shoulder. She's on his shoulders.
Oh, man.
Because he just crashed his spaceship in front of her.
How coincidental.
Now, you are right. He is handsome.
Oh my gosh.
He is drawn to be very handsome. Even Ataru's mom is like putting on makeup.
Yeah, I was like, I gotta go put my mug on. We have company.
Yeah. But Ray is not all that he looks.
He's pretty, and that's it.
He turns into a giant weird tiger cow demon.
Yeah, I was like, I love that they're like, he's a cow. And I was like, is that a cow?
It's not really a cow.
No.
But he gets mad because he's trying to get Lum back because he's her ex-fiance. And Lum's like, bitch, I'm pregnant.
Oh, that was like, holy moly. I was like, excuse me?
Say what?
I'm sorry, come again?
And so they just like go all crazy.
Just become a giant tiger cow.
And runs rampant. But then, and this is the funniest thing in the whole fucking show so far, is he like goes down to normal size and he's just holding a gun and all he says in English is gun. And I don't know why, but I always lose my mind at the delivery of this line of just like giant, small gun.
Yeah.
In English.
It's really good.
And it's the option of duel me or I'll kill you anyways. So you know.
You gotta do it because you're gonna die.
And it's basically not a gun duel. They have to sit and wear metal helmets while they get shocked by lightning.
Which I was like, well, Ataru is used to it, so he'll be fine.
Yeah, and he wins because of course he does.
Oh man, this is such a strange duel because it's literally like nothing.
Nothing happens.
Well, no, and it's like it's not a duel of. I guess it's like a duel of like constitution and endurance.
Yeah.
But it's like you can't control who gets shocked. You can't like it. Just I don't know. There's better ways to prove your manliness,
Apparently.
your suitability as a mate.
The mom is so distraught by him being hurt that she's nursing him back to life, and the dad is so sad about this.
He's like, my wife doesn't find me attractive anymore. She's throwing herself at a younger man.
Yeah, he's literally leaving, being like, you love a younger man. Oh. But the dad is pathetic regardless.
Oh yeah, 100%.
But the second half of that episode is him going on a rampage and then chasing Lum as a human, but every time he sees a girl, he looks at them and says a stupid ass line because
will you cook for me?
Yeah, Lum literally goes, what's your proposal to me? If it's a good proposal, I'll go for it. And he was just like, will you cook for me forever? That's a shitty proposal when you're trying to get someone to marry you.
That sounds like something, those male activists with podcasts would say.
If she's not going to cook for me, then why would I even date her?
And then wonder why they're still single.
Yeah, it's the girl's
I'm sorry. It's because they're the gatekeepers to marriage.
But yeah, will you cook with me? Will you cook with me? Will you cook with me?
And all of these women are like, hell yeah, I will.
But as this is happening, they keep like destroying storefronts when he's in tiger mode.
And 10.
Oh my God.
Oh my gosh, I love this. He's like, here's a map to the person who's responsible for this. Send the bills to them.
And it's a Taru, even though it's not his fault.
I know. I love it.
Like, he's like, oh, did this guy steal your girl? Well, the guy who's housing the guy that stole your girl lives here. Go talk to him.
Yeah.
And he thinks he's being helpful.
He literally keeps saying, like, I'm doing a good thing.
I'm a good boy.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you're so cute. It's hard to say that you're wrong, but you are wrong.
You're not actually doing good.
And it's literally, it just kind of ends with the mother staring at Ray being like, yes, I will cook for you forever. And the father on the floor just being like, and the mother being literally gives the line, my stupid son and my dull husband, why did I make this life choice? Girl.
Wow. Marriage seems great.
Girl.
And yeah, we end with that final image of just like a mob circling in their house.
Just hundreds of people like ready to fuck this kid up. His parents must make crazy money.
She must have an OnlyFans. I don't know. Like, look, selling feet pics.
I've seen her in the new version. I'd subscribe.
I'd turn on notifications.
I'd also subscribe to Lum's moms. So
I don't think I've seen Lum's mom.
Well, hold the fuck on then.
I was like, are you going to send me a picture?
I am.
We need to see this MILF. Oh shit. Look at that mommy.
Right?
Oh dang, that dress is great. I love that design.
Mm-hmm.
Does that say Lum Mum?
Yes. I don't think they ever actually gave her an official name. I can't remember.
She's great.
And then there's Ten's mom. This show's full of MILFs, okay?
I mean, apparently this alien race is just super hot.
That's Ten's mom.
Whoa, I would not expect that as Ten's mom. Whoa, she's also so cool.
Even in the OG, mom's a babe.
Oh, wow, yeah. Man, those are great.
The designs in the show are great.
I mean, I don't know why I'm surprised.
You wouldn't think you could do that much with leopard print, but...
You can do a lot with leopard print, I'm learning. Well, it's technically tiger print, but yeah.
Or sorry, yes. Tiger print. But,
get your fashion elements right.
Sorry. But in the new version of episode 3, we meet...
oh, man.
What's his name?
Shutaro?
Mendo or something like that?
Yeah.
Who is super rich transfer student who literally skydives every day to school.
I hate him.
He's the worst.
Let's put him in a submarine.
But his whole thing is that all the girls love him.
Mm-hmm.
And he's going to go for class president. And
oh my gosh, on the worst platform ever. Well,
he's literally like, hey, girls, none of this applies to you. It's just the boys. But if any of them are ever late, tardy, or lie about anything, we're going to build a room to physically torture them.
We're going to build a dungeon to put them in.
And all the girls are like, yay.
I was like, holy shit. And then the guys are like, we need to plot because this can't happen. So who are we going to put up against him? And apparently the only option is Ataru, which is hilarious.
It's silly. Why? Why him of anybody?
Yeah, 100%.
Actually, speaking of characters in the show, I'm really glad that his friends group isn't quite like they are in the OG version.
They aren't as obsessive with Lum.
They're not as obsessive with Lum. They're not constantly abusing and like destroying Taru.
Yeah. They like chain him up in a clock
Yeah,
tower.
they took way too much screen time in the OG.
Mm-hmm.
And like there's times where that happens in the modern, but it's not like full episodes worth.
Mm-hmm. 100%.
Which is really nice. But the vote comes through and it's a tie.
So then it's like, who votes for Shotaro? And it's like all the girls. And then it's like, who votes for Ataru? And it's all the boys. And they're like, oh shoot, 17-17. What are we gonna do?
Wah, wah. How do they break the tie again? I don't remember.
Oh, they have to throw a glove, and because they have to do it, like issue a challenge. And so the like rich kid is like, like where I come from, we throw a glove to start the challenge. And so he keeps trying to throw it.
Yeah.
And then
he's
Ataru just keeps like dodging
that
it.
shit. And his friends are like, he's really athletic when he needs to run away from things.
Yeah, 100%. Which I was like, I get it.
But then Lum ends up just like destroying him with shock. And there's like, well, you lose.
Ah, sucks to be you.
And then the rest of the episode is literally just
about
school
field trip
to like a cave.
Yeah, which I was like, have we not seen the like Thai soccer team or the Descent?
Yeah.
Caves are not a good place to go explore.
But I do like this little thing because it's like Shinobu is like, you know what? Fuck it. This guy wants to date me. I'll try and date him. He doesn't though, because it's one of those like Shinobu wants Mendo, Mendo wants Lum wants Ataru, Ataru wants Shinobu. Yeah. And I will say it is a
just
funny episode.
Crazy mug or web of them trying to figure out.
Did you say mug?
Yeah, I did. I don't know why I said mug instead of web.
I think I was just drinking out of my mug on camera, so maybe that.
I don't know, maybe.
But they keep getting mixed up in the dark and like hugging each other for safety. And it's like the boys are hugging, the girls are hugging. And then it's like the wrong people, the right people. It's a good little bit.
It is a fun little bit.
It ends with them finding a spaceship and it blasts off into space for absolutely no fucking reason.
Because why not?
I don't know what that's about.
Yeah, it's something. I mean, I will say I liked Lum's outfit on the field trip. I thought it was very cute.
That is, and they did that in the original where they would always give her like there's a lot of really, really good like outfits that she would wear that aren't just her leopard bikini. I prefer Lum in the cute little hipster outfits.
Yeah, I think they're really cute.
It makes her 10 times more adorable.
Oh my gosh. Also, the cosplays for those ones would be so good.
Yeah. No one would probably know directly what you're doing because they're mostly just fashionable clothes.
Yeah.
But the hair and the horns.
Mm-hmm. And then having those little like tiger print elements would probably help.
And so it's hard to compare the plot when after the first episode things are so disjointed.
Mm-hmm.
But overall, as a show, the modern is pretty damn good.
Yeah, I would say I'm not mad at it.
No, it is lacking in certain areas, but it picks up where the original didn't in a lot of other ways.
Mm-hmm.
It's just as much as the modern can do, the OG will always be the best.
Oh, 100%. Because with the modern, you don't have the like nostalgia, I guess, with it, which is always going to make things better.
Yeah, I could see that.
I don't know. That's just my thought. I also didn't grow up with it, so I don't know. But
now, which one do you think was rated higher?
I want to say the OG was probably rated higher.
Not by much.
Oh, wow.
The OG was a 7.71.
Okay.
The remake was 7.41. But the remake has double the votes for reviewers.
Oh, wow.
Because Urusei Yatsura is popular, but it's popular within a niche.
Yeah, I can see that.
You don't go to like an anime convention and see a lot of Lums anymore.
No, we didn't see a lot.
No, but when I went to the anime conventions as a kid, there'd be like 10 Lum cosplayers.
Mm-hmm.
And creepy dudes taking photos when they're not looking all the time.
And back in the day, you had like digital cameras. It wasn't like, oh, I'm just going to be pretending to text like nowadays.
Yeah, you had to pull out a fucking camera.
Guys, it was so much harder back in the day.
I would always ask to take photos with people. I'd never just take them.
That's fair. Yep.
I'd be like, can I get a photo? I'm just a wee little youngin' with a purple trunks mushroom cut.
Thanks.
So yeah, it gives me hope for other anime remakes because
I agree.
We wouldn't have gotten a Ranma remake that's coming up if this wasn't produced.
Oh, I just thought of another note that I had. Sorry. I think what I really appreciated about this new series is because the thing that drove me nuts with the original is that there felt like there was no, like, it felt like Ataru and Lum were so two-dimensional and there was nowhere that their relationship was going to go. I mean, at least that was based on the 10 episodes that we did review.
Yeah.
But in the new one, it does feel like they are giving them a lot more depth and a lot more rounded character. And so that gives me hope for, watching it longer.
Because
Like,
even Shinobu is like, yeah, I would leave you, Ataru.
Yeah, 100%. Like, I don't feel like every episode is going to be literally just Ataru doesn't want Lum, Lum wants Ataru, and then shocks the shit out of him. Like, yeah, it feels like there's more for them to play with.
Yeah, I fully agree with you. The retro anime as a whole has been seeing a big boom. I did that video on it when we're getting like the Ranma, we're getting the Rose of Versailles, we're getting the Magic Knight Ray Earth, which we had our episode last week on. We also got Trigun recently, which we'll watch eventually. I'm sure you'll love. I'm sure you will love Wolfwood.
I love a protagonist in a big red coat.
Well, I figured you'd like Wolfwood, who is a suit-wearing guy who carries a big cross, because he's technically a priest, but the cross is a giant gun.
Hell yeah.
So he's not your typical kind of priest.
Oh man, I'm ready for it.
But no, this when I first heard this was getting announced, it made me so excited because I was like, holy shit, this is a big deal. It's been 40 years. Are they going to fuck it up?
Thankfully, no.
Because if they fuck it up, we're not going to get any more.
Mm-hmm.
And they didn't. It was super popular. It was well received. Everything's good.
Yep. Everybody, you can take a breather. You're okay. So it's all okay. Urusei's good.
Yeah.
We can get more.
Now Mappa's in charge of a bunch of other upcoming remakes, and they also look really good. So
yay.
Everything will be fucking fine.
We can sleep at night.
Dig it. So yeah, good remake. Regardless of anything else, when it comes to remakes, we've seen things in remakes and things that get live action things, and
The Crow.
They're usually real crappy and trash.
Mm-hmm.
But this one feels good, and that's what's important.
Exactly. I'm not mad that this remake existed.
Hell yeah. I think that's all we can ask for.
Mm-hmm.
Now, folks, make sure to check out the other episode that's right after this one that, again, has all of our news and upcoming and a recap of the year of our worst and bests from all 52 episodes that we've done. I think you're going to like the news that we've got for you with changes coming to the podcast. It's been things that people have been asking about for almost a bloody year, and me being like, oh, I don't know. And then finally being like, fuck it, we ball.
Mm-hmm.
So make sure to check that out.
We're showing our faces.
Yeah. This episode was a little bit different than what we normally do. If this is your first time listening to us and you're like, this episode had a bit of a weird format, it's not our usual format. Usually we kind of go off and on as hosts, introducing each other to something different. We thought we kind of changed it up this week to kind of commemorate the 1-year anniversary.
Mm-hmm.
Make sure you check us out next week on our Tuesday episodes because it's spooky month.
Ooh, it's the best month of the year.
So we will catch you next week for that. Make sure to like, subscribe, follow, all that jazz, wherever you happen to be listening to our podcast. And if it's not on YouTube, go to our YouTube channel because we do edited videos, really funny shorts where I make Lindsay blindly rank the hotness of Dragon Ball Z characters.
It goes sometimes well, and sometimes it goes terribly wrong.
This week, her hottest was not good.
No.
And could have gotten her canceled.
I can never run for any sort of political office.
No. So go check that out because I think you'll have a good time. And make sure to follow us on socials, which is @Animates, everywhere you can. And we will catch you next week with Spooky Season.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited.
Goodbye, darling.
Darling.